Hey everyone, welcome back to the lab. Let's just jump right into today's explainer. Because we're tackling something literally all of us have struggled with, getting AI to actually do what we want. You know the exact feeling, right? You type in a prompt, hit enter, and the AI spits back something completely different from what you had in your head. Well, today we are going to fix that by mastering a foundational skill in prompt engineering, the art of the example. Here is our quick lesson plan for today. We're going to cover showing versus telling, 0, 1, and few shot prompting, 3 specific types of examples, the awesome power of negative examples, some practical rules to follow, and finally, a little reverse engineering homework. All right, let's kick things off with part 1, showing versus telling. So the single biggest hurdle we face when communicating with an AI is what we call the ambiguity problem. When you use a vague word like neatly or formal, you're basically forcing the AI to guess what that means to you. Think about it. It's the exact difference between telling a student to just write neatly versus handing them a page of flawless cursive and saying, hey, do it exactly like this. Showing the AI a precise target is always, always better than just trying to describe it. And when you actually provide that example, you instantly unlock 4 major superpowers. It communicates your expectations in a way that descriptions alone just can't touch. First up, you demonstrate the exact format. Do you want a bulleted list, a data table? Show it. Second, you set the style and tone. Like, is this a dense academic paper or a casual group chat? Third, you reveal the task logic, essentially showing the AI the exact step-by-step reasoning it needs to follow. And fourth, length calibration. By giving an example, you implicitly anchor exactly how long or short that final response should be. Moving right along to part 2, 0, 1, and few shot. Okay, so to get the academic foundation for today's lesson, we really need to understand the term few-shot prompting. If you give the AI absolutely no examples, that's called zero-shot prompting. Give it one single example, that's one shot. But few-shot prompting, where you give it roughly 2 to 4 examples, is the absolute gold standard technique for getting consistent, reliable outputs. It just totally nukes that ambiguity problem we were just talking about. Which brings us to part 3, 3 example prompting types. Let's open up our toolkits. The first method is the classic few-shot setup, which uses input-output pairs. Notice how we set up a sequence here for the AI to complete. We give a character, Juliet, and a trait, passionate. Hamlet, indecisive. Atticus Finch, principled. By showing this exact pattern, the AI learns a really strict rule. It realizes, oh, I should only return a single personality trait. Without those examples, the AI might spit out a massive 3-paragraph character analysis. But with them, you get exactly the crisp, one-word format you're looking for. Our second type is the structural template. So rather than a full input-output pair, you provide a blueprint that shows the exact shape of the response, like this book summary template, asking for a title, a one-sentence premise, key themes, and target audience. This is an absolute game changer for repeated formats. If you need to generate 50 report cards, a massive batch of product descriptions, or your weekly lesson summaries, the structure stays completely locked in. And that brings us to the third type, multimodal references. This is where we break out of just typing text into a chat box. You can actually attach files, images, or spreadsheets to act as the primary example. You could drop in a Word doc and say, use this exact heading structure. You could upload a grading rubric to evaluate an assignment, or feed it a spreadsheet to flag irregular rows. The file itself literally becomes the standard the AI works from. All right, part 4, the power of negative examples. This is a highly effective yet completely overlooked secret trick in prompt engineering. Pairing a positive example with a negative what not to do example works absolutely wonders. Say we want a simple definition. Our good example is, photosynthesis is how plants turn sunlight into food. But our avoid example is this dense, jargon-heavy scientific nightmare about biochemical processes and radiant energy. By giving the AI both boundaries, the good and the bad, you give it a dramatically sharper target to aim for, totally preventing it from falling into those common, annoying traps. Okay, let's get into part 5, practical rules for prompts. Before you start building these out yourself, you gotta know the 4 rules of the road. Rule number 1, stick to 2 to 4 examples. If you use too few, the pattern just isn't clear. But if you use too many, the AI actually starts latching on to weird random quirks in your text instead of the main pattern. Rule 2, order matters. The AI pays the most attention to the very last thing you said, so always put your strongest example right at the end. Rule 3 is huge, so listen up. Examples override vague instructions. If you tell the AI to be brief, but your examples are 3 paragraphs long, guess what? The AI is going to write 3 paragraphs. The examples always win. And finally, Rule 4, maintain strict consistency in your format and length across all your examples. So let's summarize everything we've covered today with this ultimate cheat sheet. You can see exactly when to use zero shot for simple tasks, few shot for consistent styling, templates for repeated documents, negative examples to block errors, and multimodal for complex or visual tasks. Seriously, feel free to pause the explainer right now and take a screenshot of this. It's a total lifesaver.
Finally, part 6, reverse engineer this prompt.
All right, class, that concludes the formal instruction, which means, yep, it is time for your homework. I want you to really think about this. If you were handed a completed AI-generated image, let's say a really cool school poster featuring a husky, a clock, and some specific educational text, could you work backwards to guess the exact prompt that created it? You'd have to untangle the specific task, the context of the artist, the visual constraints, and the style examples they used. It's way harder than it sounds. But by forcing yourself to think backwards, you will fundamentally understand how to engineer your own prompts forwards. Give it a try. Thanks for joining me for today's explainer. Good luck on that homework, and I'll see you next time.